All right. So, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. I know there's probably only a couple of you in the chat right now, but what Adam and I are going to do is we are doing this live, but we're also going to be putting this out after the fact, probably tomorrow morning. Adam and I sat down and decided that we get so much interaction with you folks, the listeners from the walk-off community, that we wish to start kind of addressing some of the questions and comments that are left on our YouTube videos that get messaged to us daily. That, it's an interactive group here, and we just wish to make it a little more interactive by acknowledging it. So that's kind of what we've done. We've decided that to start the live stream, we're going to have about a 30-minute section where we're kind of going over comments and questions from the last week. And feel free, obviously, to get your questions and comments in. You can comment right on our YouTube page. Not right now as we go. We're not going to be quite as interactive on the chat. However, of course, once we're live streaming, that'll change, and then it'll be just like any other live stream we do. All right, so let's start there. I'm Scott Belford, joined with Adam Mack, as always. Buddy, you've got our questions all lined up here, right? You put some work into this.
I have. I've spent a good portion of the day getting this ready. So let's start right away with Gregory Mann from YouTube commented, Austin Martin should get one playoff game just as a reward if he continues to play well. What do you think of that?
Boy, he has played incredibly well. I mean, he's leading the Northwest AA in on-base percentage, which we talked about this in the podcast on Friday, and my goodness, like, the kid is 21. It's his first time playing pro ball. I don't know. If you're going to ask me, do you think it would be a cool thing to happen? Yes, absolutely. 100%. Let's give Austin Martin a playoff game. First, let's get into the playoffs, and also, it's not going to happen. I just don't see them moving Austin Martin up until next year at the earliest. I could be wrong. We'll see how he continues to progress. His numbers aren't out of this world at AA, although his plate discipline has been elite for a guy who is just getting used to pro ball.
Very encouraging, but yeah, I think there are a few prospects on the verge who are probably in front of him in line for that sort of a late September.
But I'm with Gregory. I'm excited about Austin. I think a lot of Blue Jays fans are. That's for sure. Tons of promise.
All right. So James from Twitter messaged us and says, why does everyone want this team to go out to get Joey Gallo when it's obviously pitching they so desperately need?
Well, isn't that a good question? Where do you stand on this? Because I personally think that we've said this before. I feel like you can address other needs without necessarily ignoring pitching.
You can never have too many good bats in your lineup. I don't know why everyone thinks that it's an either-or situation. Like, why not both? I mean,
the constant online joke is anytime somebody goes to the Jays or there's rumors, the answer is, can he pitch? And yes, that is the biggest need. I mean, we're not blind. Everyone knows. I mean, Jays fans, we've dealt with this for a couple months now, and it is getting frustrating. I mean, yesterday was just a dagger in the heart to watch that bullpen give up that run in the 8th inning and drop a game that was so important to the Red Sox. And yeah, I mean, could this team do without Joey Gallo? Probably. I mean, for sure they could. They're doing fine. That said, one of the biggest needs in this lineup is a left-handed bat just to break up all the righties. It's such a right-handed dominant lineup, and it allows teams to stack the bullpen in that way, in that fashion, bring in guys that they don't need to worry about taking them out right away. So I think just having that big power lefty bat in the lineup could do a lot of good. And you know what? Maybe James is right. Maybe they've already addressed that with Corey Dickerson, who people have constantly forgot about in that Adam Cimber trade that they got out of the Marlins. And Cimber has looked incredible. He's been a great addition to that bullpen. I don't know. How do you feel, man? Like,
well, I'm hearing that Dickerson is, I don't want to say close to returning, but he's starting to do baseball activities again, which is a good sign. I don't know.
He's by the time closer. He gets back, absolutely he is. I know.
Maybe too little too late, but
I know just the other day I was watching him. They had him taking swings at batting practice. So that's something. Doesn't necessarily mean much, but he's doing baseball activities,
exactly.
So that's
all right,
good.
Well, let's move on to the next one here, and I'm gonna butcher this name, but from the comment section on YouTube, Dulcimerist. I know I'm getting that wrong. Legendary closer John Axford is on the way to the Jays. He's throwing 98 and painting the corners like it's 2011. How long until we see the Axeman moved up to the Jays? And just for more detail before you get to that, here's his line right now with Triple.
Yes, Adam, give us the numbers.
All about the stats. 8 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 1 hit, 3 walks to 11 strikeouts, with a 1.04 ERA and a 0.46 WHIP. That was pretty spectacular.
Not going to lie, I'm a little surprised he's not already in this Jays bullpen.
Yeah.
I don't understand what they're waiting for.
I don't know either. I mean, as much as we both love Kirby Sneed, his numbers aren't that good.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? I mean, the Axeman is a
former
Kirby 40 save guy,
deserves
right?
to be here too. Kirby's
totally.
Yeah, like Kirby has a heck of a season. But I'm with you. Like, Axford has the pedigree. He has the experience. He's been there before. He has some age to him, too. Like, guys look up to him. I'm not sure what has held Axford back from getting into this bullpen to this point. He's killing it in triple A, I should say, with the Bisons. Yeah. Dulcimist or whatever his name is there, his handle. He makes a good point. Axford, I think we are going to see him in this Jays uniform. I don't know when.
I'm the biggest reason I'm surprised we haven't seen Axford yet is because we got the trade deadline like 4 days away. I feel like we kind of want to see, do we have something here with Axford? Because if we do, that's one less, medium bullpen arm that we need to go out and get, right? Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's weird that he's not up yet. All right.
Basically, to answer his question, no idea, right? And we're not sure why he's not in this bullpen yet.
Absolutely.
But we'll leave it at that. Go ahead, Adam.
All right, so on to the next one here. This name I can pronounce. Steve Williams from the comment section on YouTube. Did you guys hear about Tellez after being traded to Milwaukee? Has been tearing the cover off the ball and heading to the postseason now with the Brewers. And the Jays didn't get anything for him. We did get Trevor Richards for him, who has looked really good.
Up until last night.
Wow, up until last night against the Red Sox. So here's the stat line on Richards real quick. 7 innings pitched. Again, he kind of got lit up against the Red Sox because we left him in a bit too long. But he's now sitting at 12 Ks, 2 walks, 3.8 ERA, and a WHIP of 0.85. But
yeah, that's fine. That's what you want out of the guy, right?
If you take out that last outing versus Boston, who, by the way, is cheating, his stat line is 5 2/3 innings pitched with an ERA of 1.59, a WHIP of 0.52, and 11 strikeouts to 0 walks.
So that's not fair then to say we got nothing for Rowdy. Yeah, that's an unfair comment.
It's also unfair to say he's been tearing the cover off the ball because he had a good weekend against the White Sox. He went 6 for 12. Dingers, yeah, he hit 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. So since he's been with the Brewers now, he's hitting .333 with an OPS of 1058. But if you take out that weekend, which is great, yeah. But if you take out that 3-game stretch and you just look at the other 9 games, he's hitting 154 with 2 RBIs. So the 9 games up until this weekend, I wouldn't say that's tearing the cover off the ball. And I'm a Rowdy Tellez fan, and I realize this is not a totally fair comparison here. I'm saying let's forget Trevor Richards' worst appearance, and let's forget Rowdy Tellez's best appearance.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, if we were having this conversation 6 days ago, it's wildly skewed in the other direction. So maybe let's just chill out on the... We got nothing for Rowdy
And
Tellez.
another thing with Rowdy Tellez is that he does this. We've seen Rowdy at his best. We know that Rowdy is a very good first baseman with a big bat when he is hot, when he's on his game. Yeah. And he does have those spurts where he can carry a team. This is why this Jays management didn't wish to give Rowdy up. This is why Rowdy Tellez over the last 3 years has been given a pile of rope. Because we just talked about Joey Gallo. We just talked about Corey Dickerson and the need for a big lefty bat in this lineup. And Rowdy Tellez was a guy, homegrown dude, who provided that. But we see when Rowdy gets cold, he gets ice cold.
Yeah.
And then you're just without a guy who can put the bat on the ball.
Yeah. No, exactly.
So I don't know. I don't think it's really fair to say. I'm with you, is what I'm saying.
All right. Well, let's move on here to the next question here. This is in regards to the video we put up about the Boston Red Sox cheating again in 2021. So Crypto Knight commented, "Shrug, MLB legitimized cheating by letting Houston and Boston keep their tainted titles. So yeah, they're probably cheating again." What do you think?
If you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's baseball's MO. We've talked about this lots.
That's
I agree. MO. I mean, even when we were kind of tongue in cheek when we were saying Boston's for sure cheating, but you know what? He makes a really good point. They've got titles to back this up.
That's all the motivation to cheat you need, right?
Yeah.
So the more I think about it, because I kind of said it in jest when I first brought it up, but now it just feels more and more true. Just, I don't know. The way the Red Sox continue to win, too, they lead the MLB in come from behind victories this year. Mm-hmm. So they have 62 wins on the season. Guess how many are come from behind wins? 33. 33
wow.
of them. That's 53% of their wins are come from behind. I feel like they're not cheating until they get to about the 7th inning, and then they go, okay, turn on the light, turn on the trash can. Let's get serious here, boys.
Yeah, I don't know how they're doing it, but there's something there. They have been so darn good. Now, I am a bitter Jays fan that just thinks I've been saying that this team is pretenders all along, and now I'm needing to eat my words and realize that the Boston Red Sox are for real. But yes, they have won a lot of come-from-behind games. It doesn't necessarily mean they're cheating. I mean, again, they're cheating, right?
They are
right?
cheating. Yeah. Of course. All right, so let's move on now. So Brad in our Discord says, Jordan Groshans is sure on fire lately. Is this for real or is this just a streak?
What are his numbers?
Okay, so the first half of the season, let's call before June 15th, and everything since then after June 15th. So before June 15th, he was hitting 247 with 2 home runs and 10 RBIs, 10 walks, 24 strikeouts. Since then, in basically the same amount of plate appearances, right around 100, he's hitting 348 with 3 home runs, 19 RBIs, so he's doubled his RBIs, and his walk to strikeout ratio is now 12 and 15.
Wow, that's a big improvement.
And his extra base hits have gone from 6 to 13.
Man, that walk-off to strike ratio, that's impressive. That's the one that kind of stands out to me there. Yeah, I think, Jordan Groshans is one of the top 100 prospects in all of baseball. Yeah. I think that it was just a matter of time for him to start getting his rhythm down with pro ball.
It's funny how quickly we can forget about a blue chip prospect, eh?
Yeah.
How quickly the shine can slowly dull. But anyways, I think I'm really excited about what Jordan Groshans has done this year, and I think him and Martin will both be in AAA next year.
So here's a question for you, Adam.
Okay.
I know we're getting off topic here and off the comments, but speaking of Jordan Groshans, would you move Groshans if you could get Scherzer?
At the deadline? Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that's who Washington would want.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm so
not 100% sold on this team.
Yeah, I just don't know that Scherzer is what makes us a World Series favorite this year, and I don't wish really to see any of our top guys go just to make the playoffs.
And I don't know if there's anything that this team can do to make them a true World Series contender. I could be very wrong, and we're going to see what's going to happen. Obviously, Shapiro's and Atkins is very busy. I can't even wait until we kind of move into the live stream and start chatting with everybody about how and what and where guys could go and what we could be bringing in, because it's going to be a fun live stream. However, I am kind of with you. I don't really wish to see any of these top 10 prospects moves. They rarely do anymore in the major leagues. Teams and organizations do not like to give up one of those top 10 prospects in their farm system. And if they do, I think you need some term coming back. Now, that said, who knows? Maybe the Jays have been in touch with Scherzer since April. Maybe this is something that they're like, listen, we'll give up a good portion of what you would like if we are guaranteed that he's going to sign here in the off season.
Right.
Because otherwise, why would they do that? I don't think they're close enough to being a major World Series contender to give up a top 10 prospect and then still need to battle it out in free agency to try and beat everyone else.
How about this, Scott? What if we had the Red Sox record? What if we were 62-39? Would you trade Jordan Groshans for Max Scherzer? Yeah. In a heartbeat. And that's kind of how I feel about it too.
You go all in then. Absolutely, and this is the thing. And I'm not even betting against the Jays here. I still think that they truly do have a shot at this second wildcard spot.
Totally.
I for sure feel like they should be buyers at this deadline, despite this sputtering that they have done since after this Rangers series, after the All-Star break.
I think Jays need to go in. They just don't need to go all in.
Yes.
Right? There's still value in playing competitive baseball all the way through the end of the year, right? So.
And I do believe that is what's going to happen. I do think that this team isn't going to be, even if they are eliminated from the playoffs, I think it's going to be late in September when that happens, when their hopes are actually dashed.
All right. Two more here. So
all right.
Derek, also in our Discord, says, and this is in response to
Panama Derek. Yes.
Panama Derek. Yeah, I think he's back in Canada now. But someone had posted a news article about the LA Dodgers, and reportedly a majority of the clubhouse don't want Trevor Bauer back, regardless of the outcome. So Derek says this might be the last we see of Trevor Bauer in baseball. Can't see any team wanting to deal with the media backlash of signing Trevor Bauer. What do you think?
Tough to argue with that.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's tough to argue with that. Like, honestly, man, even if he is completely acquitted and it is found out that she lied 100%, I still think that there's enough of a stigma attached to that man that this might be the end of his baseball career, no matter how this plays out.
Well, the one hot take, or not hot take, but the one opinion that I heard that really sealed this for me, I think it was from David Sampson, who used to manage or be president of the Marlins, but he was saying, like, Trevor Bauer must be as big of an asshole in the locker room as he seems publicly, because if he was a nice guy in the locker room, his teammates would be coming to his defense.
I think so too. Maybe like nobody not his defense, but they wouldn't be coming out and saying, we don't wish him back in the clubhouse.
Certainly that.
Yeah.
We can agree, certainly that. So, yeah, I think regardless of the outcome of his legal troubles, I think just being an asshole in general is enough, you know? Like you said, if he's entirely acquitted and she admits to making it up, and we're not saying that's the case, but even if that was the case,
no means, and In fact, I think it's probably the opposite.
Probably the opposite. But even if he was totally clean record after this, just the like question mark of like, okay, well, she dropped the charges, but is he really innocent? And he's a huge asshole. You just go, never mind. It's not even worth it. Like,
yeah, agreed.
Not worth the trouble in the clubhouse. So,
all right.
Enough with
last question here.
Last question. So this isn't really a question. This is from Twitter. Carlos Collazo, who is a writer with Baseball America, pointed this out regarding the 2021 draft class. Okay, so I'm going to give you 4 players. There's more than just these 4, but these are just 4 pretty egregious examples. So when a guy gets drafted, they have their slot value, right, of how much the pick 184 overall is worth, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes guys sign for more or less than that. More or less, fluctuates, yes. Right? So the Chicago Cubs drafted left-handed pitcher Riley Martin in the 6th round, 184th overall. Slot value, $263,700. Guess how much they signed him for? $1,000.
Wow.
The Dodgers have a pick in the 9th round, slot value $147,000. They signed them for $2,500. Dodgers also have someone in the 10th round, slot value $142,000, signed him for $2,500. The Pirates.
Why is this happening?
The Pirates have a third baseman, Jackson Glenn, who they drafted in the 5th round, slot value $422,000. They signed him for $12,000.
Unreal. So they're just strong-arming these kids.
Do you know what these 4
pennies
players?
On the dollar.
You know what these 4 players have in common? And again, there's more than just these 4 from this draft class, but these were just 4 of the most egregious ones that I could find. All 4 of them are 5th-year seniors in college, so they have no leverage. Their career is essentially over, right? Because
it's either go pro for $2,500 or just don't do anything.
Or just don't play baseball. I mean, you could do the independent route if you want and throw on YouTube and hopefully someone watches your YouTube video. Mm-hmm. But after 5 years, you are done in the NCAA. Yeah. So just, I don't know, kind of sickening that these clubs are strong-arming a guy. Like, even at the lowest example here, Michael Hobbs in the 10th round for the Dodgers, signed for $2,500. Slot value $140,000. So that's $140,000 under slot value. Like, that's enough to pursue your dreams as a pro ball player for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, wow. And that said, it does go the other way too. I mean, look at Irv Carter, the Toronto Blue Jays 5th round draft pick, and he went for something, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but way over slot. I think his slot was something like $700,000, and he got almost $1 million or something like that.
So this is the justification, is that it's not just greedy owners who save $200,000 on Riley Martin and then put it in their bank accounts, right? Like, they are saving $200,000 on a guy in the 6th round and then spending that on their 1st round pick, right?
Right.
So the money does get distributed, but this, I think, just points out how the whole system is broken.
Yes, isn't it? Absolutely. So. All right, well, do we wrap it up there?
Let's wrap it up here. We got live stream Red Sox and Blue Jays coming up in, I guess, first pitch should be in like 5 minutes. So we'll stick around in the live chat here and get to, looks like we got quite a few comments in the live chat already. But
that's fantastic.
If you're watching this on YouTube the next day,
sorry, bud.
You go ahead, Scott.
I was just going to say exactly what you were going to say, is that this is a new segment that we're doing. We kind of accumulated all the questions and comments from the YouTube and Twitter and Instagram over the last week, and this is why we did this first 30 minutes here, and this is something we're going to try and continue to do. So feel free to get your questions, comments, and stuff like that on all our videos, or even just feel free to message us if you've got something you want us to talk about. Otherwise, other than that, yeah,